Have you ever observed someone who seemed to be quite content being unmarried? Someone who shows absolutely no interest in dating or seeking love? It can first be perplexing if it is a friend, brother, coworker, or even you. How can someone give up on something that most others are always searching for? In actuality, this behavior is about a mental shift, a deliberate decision to put emotional well-being, personal development, and self-respect ahead of relentless pursuit, rather than giving up or becoming resentful. We are delving deeply into the psychology of those who give up on finding love today. We will look at why it occurs, what it says about one's attitude and past experiences, the personality qualities that are frequently involved, and the advantages of this strategy. By the time this movie ends, you may have a whole new perspective on those who have turned away from love, realizing that their choices are frequently the result of knowledge, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence rather than fear or indifference. It is critical to realize that sadness is not the main reason why people give up on finding love. Sometimes it is a deliberate decision to shield oneself from emotional tiredness, recurring disappointment, or the ongoing worry of trying to win someone else's approval. How many times have you witnessed someone enter a relationship only to feel disappointed, undervalued, or emotionally spent? When they observe this trend, some people make the conscious or unconscious decision that pursuing love is no longer worth the strain. Rather, they focus on themselves, their objectives, their interests, and their general well-being. This change does not make individuals less loving, rather, it makes them conscious of their own emotional needs and the significance of attending to them before attempting to find fulfillment in someone else. Instead of chasing the ephemeral approbation or thrill of casual attraction, they get clarity about the kind of love they truly want, the kind that is consistent with their principles and emotional needs, by taking a step back. Certain personality features are shared by many of the individuals who make this decision. They are frequently self-reliant, reflective, and acutely aware of themselves. They may be introverted, preferring isolation, introspection, and energy over continual social contact. Some people are more hesitant to open up again because they have been the victims of heartache, rejection, or emotional neglect. The important thing to remember in this situation is that giving up is a sign of emotional mindfulness rather than resentment or hatred. These people recognize the importance of choosing carefully where to direct their emotional energies. They understand that seeking love carelessly or without clarity can result in tension, ambiguity, and low self-esteem. By stepping back, they give themselves room to refuel, concentrate on personal development, and create a life that feels satisfying whether or not a love partner is around. Many myths exist around those who give up on finding love. Many believe they must be emotionally frigid, lonely, or unfulfilled. However, this is frequently not the case in practice. These are often the most contented and grounded people you will come across. They and oppose, come to understand that love from others is not a prerequisite for happiness. It originates from within. They follow their passions, form deep friendships, and live life as they see fit. They convey confidence, self-respect, and emotional stability, qualities that are considerably more alluring than desperation or relentless pursuit, which, ironically, might make them more appealing to the proper kind of people. This way of thinking enables them to approach future relationships voluntarily rather than out of necessity, which frequently results in happier, more harmonious partnerships. There are significant psychological advantages to deciding not to pursue love. It lowers stress, promotes a greater feeling of self-worth, and aids in setting clear personal boundaries. These people have more energy to devote to interests, meaningful experiences, and personal development because they are not constantly under pressure to find approval from a spouse. Because they learn to rely on themselves instead of the erratic attention or praise of others, kids become emotionally resilient. Practically speaking, this means that they are frequently more composed, confident, and capable of managing the emotional difficulties of life. When they acknowledge their own worth and make deliberate decisions about where and how to use their emotional energy, they feel empowered. What this conduct reveals us about interpersonal interactions is another intriguing feature. People who give up on love realize that relationships are healthiest when love is desired rather than required. They are aware that partnerships flourish when both parties contribute mutual respect, emotional stability, and self-awareness rather than desperation or reliance. We can all learn from witnessing this conduct. Sometimes the most responsible and psychologically good decision we can make is to let go of the never-ending quest and concentrate on our personal development. Instead of being afraid or insecure, it enables us to interact with others from a place of clarity and power. This viewpoint also demonstrates a profound emotional intelligence, emphasizing the importance of self-respect, patience, and thoughtful decision-making in romantic relationships. So why do people give up on finding love in the first place? There are a number of important factors. Self-awareness comes first. They choose not to replicate unhealthy patterns from previous relationships. Secondly, putting personal development first. They want to devote their limited emotional energy to themselves, their passions, and their long-term objectives. Resilience comes in third. They may have gone through tragedy, heartbreak, or rejection. Rather than attempting to numb these emotions by looking for a new connection right away, they concentrate on digesting, healing, and developing. Clarity comes in fourth. They now know what they will not put up with and what they really want in a spouse. Lastly, emotional autonomy. They no longer base their sense of value on the love of another person. Together, these elements account for why they give up on love without losing the capacity to love. In fact, because it is based on self-respect and choice, people frequently get better at expressing and receiving genuine, meaningful affection. This is an opportunity for viewers to consider their own tendencies. Are you pursuing love in ways that make you feel nervous, worried, or unsatisfied? Or are you putting your own development first, developing emotional stability, and living life to the fullest on your own terms? Romantic connections are not the only aspect of the psychology of those who give up on love. It teaches you to be patient, respect yourself, and put your emotional health first. It is about designing a life in which love is an asset rather than a necessity. This strategy frequently results in deeper, more meaningful connections by enabling people to enter into relationships out of choice rather than necessity. By reminding us that sometimes taking a step back is the boldest and most self-loving thing we can do, this perspective can help all of us reconsider how we approach friendship, dating, and even love. Let us also think about the significance of emotional intelligence and mentality. Individuals who take a break from pursuing love frequently show greater levels of introspection. They consider what they need, what they want, and what is consistent with their values. They understand that pursuing love for the wrong reasons, out of fear, loneliness, or social pressure, rarely results in fulfillment. It is uncommon to have this level of emotional clarity, but it is a skill that can be acquired with time. They build a solid internal foundation that enables them to interact with possible partners from a grounded position by recognizing their own habits, establishing boundaries, and engaging in self-care. They recognize that love is a relationship to be fostered when timing, compatibility, and preparedness coincide rather than a goal to be attained at all costs. Another important realization is that those who give up on love frequently make unacknowledged investments in themselves. They pursue interests, passions, education, and self-improvement that enhance their life. They might go on trips, make things, volunteer, or commit to meaningful work. These activities not only increase their level of personal fulfillment but also make them more appealing to potential partners. People who are happy, inquisitive, and involved in life naturally attract others to them, not by making an effort or pursuing them, but just by being genuine and joyful. Their decision to give up on love becomes, in many respects, an act of empowerment, a statement that they will not sacrifice their development or morals for fleeting love. When someone takes this route, relationships also change. They approach love with willingness and mutual respect rather than neediness or desperation. Because they have developed emotional resilience and independence, they are frequently better able to handle disagreements without panic or overreaction. Being self-sufficient does not mean being closed off, rather, it means having a strong sense of self and realizing that love is complementary rather than essential to happiness or survival. And this may be the most significant psychological realization. You can truly enjoy, cultivate, and maintain love when it does come into your life when you are not reliant on it to prove your value. In the end, those who give up on finding love are not giving up. They are developing, learning, and prioritizing themselves. In ways that many of us take years to develop, they develop self-respect, emotional clarity, and an awareness of their boundaries. This serves as a potent reminder for viewers. Romantic validation is not necessary for contentment and happiness. They result from being aware of who you are, accepting your independence, and having faith that love will find you when the conditions are ideal in terms of time, readiness, and alignment. For those who feel worn out by the pursuit and under pressure to find love at any costs, keep in mind that taking a step back is a sign of wisdom rather than weakness. Love is possible, but it requires self-respect, independence, and choice, a power that chasing can never provide. Therefore, take a moment to think the next time you witness someone who has given up on finding love, or if you observe this pattern in yourself. Observe their level of tranquility, self-awareness, and clarity. See the wisdom in their patience, the strength in their emotional independence, and the depth of their contentment. And never forget that it is not giving up to take a step back, prioritize yourself, and allow love to come to you organically. It involves developing the skills of self-respect, emotional intelligence, and genuine connection. This is the psychology of people who stop chasing love, and understanding it might just change the way you approach relationships, both with yourself and with others.